lines of acceptable debate and acceptable American politics and culture. And I don't mean that in like a censorious gatekeeping way. I mean having people that are...
Okay. You don't mean it in a censorious gatekeeping way. It kind of feels like you mean that in a censorious gatekeeping way. Except the irony is these guys are no longer the gatekeepers. That is the irony. CBS News no longer has the same level of relevance. And I say this as someone who gets a shit ton of mainstream press coverage. Okay? And in my own personal experience, going on the Theo Von podcast is infinitely better for boosting my profile than any number of different prestigious mainstream legacy newspapers writing profiles on me. Straight up. The Joe Rogan Experience is more of a real gatekeeper now than any number of different news articles. Okay? It's just the truth. And I say this as someone who obviously cares about mainstream press, who cares about good journalism, who defends good journalism all the fucking time. The reality of the matter is, as far as PR pushes go, podcasts in general are infinitely more relevant in boosting people's profile in a real way than the previous gatekeepers are. Nobody gives a shit about going on CBS News. I'm serious. My grandma sent me an article that was just 30 sexy pictures of Hassan Piker. So you're doing good with the centrist Debras? Hell yeah. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. If you go on CBS, though, you'll pick up the GILF demographic. I know. And honestly, the wine moms are the revolutionary vanguard of America. Like, I don't, like, make no mistake. I do believe that, which is why I think there is value in, we need to bring in incredibly charismatic sexual dynamo, Alan fucking Dershowitz, to CBS News. It's like, yeah, I was thinking, like, where can you get more Alan Dershowitz? In mainstream media, that's it. Whether it be an article that he will write about how we must lower the age of consent laws, okay, or whether it be going on Fox News on a nightly basis to talk about how the victims of Jeffrey Epstein are liars, right? Alan Dershowitz is on mainstream media all the fucking time. Dana Loesch is a mainstream media figure. She was an NRA spokesperson. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, free speech warrior Barry Weiss discusses her plan for manufacturing consent. The funniest part about this, in my opinion, is that she is so objectively bad at her fucking job that this is a failure, in my opinion. And it's not just a failure. I mean, it's the type of failure you can see, right? The example Barry Weiss gave of the charismatic mainstream debate she believes will revitalize CBS, namely the gun control debate she arranged between Alan Dershowitz and Dana Loesch, has so far been watched by a grand total of 860 people in 5 hours since posting. Perhaps for all of the anger and resentment that you might have towards independent media content creators who are not abiding by whatever norms existed in legacy publishers, norms, i.e., norms, for example, of demonstrating unconditional loyalty to Israel. Okay, whether you like it or not, it is obvious that people on the independent side of things have to actually carve out their own fucking audiences. And in an effort to do so, they have to be more entertaining. They have to be more charismatic than the people who get hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to sit on a fucking CNN panel or to sit on a CBS panel or to sit on a Fox News panel. Okay? This is not an issue that you can solve with money. Jay Caspian Kang says, so basically she's going to cancel everyone she disagrees with and elevate Alan Dershowitz. Also, if you're going to redraw lines to square up more with what 75% of Americans believe, how are you going to cover aid to Israel, which is widely unpopular amongst that 75%? Also, maybe I'm slow, but Hassan Fuentes and Tucker aren't on CBS this morning chopping it up with Nate Burleson. How are you going to cancel them from CBS News and foreign free press? Is Coleman Hughes going to do an impassioned segment on 60 Minutes? It's like PS4 saying to PS5, you're canceled. It's just like, I'm not on CBS News. And not only am I not on CBS News, CBS News wants me to be on CBS News. So what is this fucking conversation? Like, did they want to have me on CBS News so they could turn around and be like, actually, we never wanted you on there. Okay. So every part about this is so funny. What is this? Come on, man. What? Not prestige for much longer. Come on, man. It's still one of the OGs of American TV. So was CNN. I don't respect them anymore. It's not about respect, honestly, just the history. CNN is no way comparable to CBS, though CNN is like a baby age-wise to CBS. No, this chatter is correct. CBS, amongst like the 50-year-old audience and over, still has a lot of prestige. And I think Barry Weiss and the Ellisons are going to utilize that prestige to do like, they're going to utilize that prestige till the very last moment to basically pump out as much pro-Israel content as possible. But that generational divide is already there, right? That generational divide has already existed, and it's not going to make people my age and make people younger than me turn around and be pro-Israel. So they're just using what remains of the institutional legacy. What remains of the institutional legacy as like a prestige premier news network that has a long history of objective reporting as a last ditch effort, I think, to continue pumping grandmas full of even more pro-Israel content, which is again not exactly a unique position in mainstream news anyway. As you're watching this, consider that she likely made this exact pitch to David Ellison, and he said, yes, precisely, here's $150 million and the top job at CBS News. Yeah. Isn't that fucking crazy? CIA was watching your China streams this morning. Falun Gong people were handing out flyers for some weird theater production about how China created COVID. Okay, first of all, that has nothing to do with my streams. That's what the Falun Gong people have been doing. Shen Yun. That's literally what they do regardless. Any boomers watching CBS Googling you will be disappointed in the lack of pit pics, my man. I agree. Yeah, they've been doing that. That has nothing to do with me going to China at all. Let's be real. Anyway, let's finish this.
As nostalgic as people might be for an era in which 30 million Americans every night watch Walter Cronkite and saw him as the voice of truth, and I understand why they're nostalgic for that. We're not going back to that. So how do you build trust in a moment of unbelievably low trust in all of our public institutions, especially the mainstream press? I don't think it's by pretending like we can go back to having a view from nowhere. I think it's about who's in the room, right? I think it's about redrawing the lines of what falls in the 40-yard.
Ni hao. Folks, it is 11/25/2025, Tuesday, November 25, 2025, 11:34 a.m. Pacific time. And I am live. I'm alive. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful time. I certainly am. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasanabi Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God. Okay. Bad faith interview guy gets cooked by Mamdani supporter. Sure. We'll take a look at that in a second. God damn, that was fast. We're live. We're alive. How's the jet lag now? King, jet lag is definitely worse than I thought it was. And I have a funny story about that, but I think I'm managing fairly well. All things considered. What do I mean by this? Well, what I mean by this is I ended the broadcast yesterday. Because I was tired after like 6 hours. And why aren't you getting groceries or cleaning like a good Chinese gentleman? Not Chinese at all. Well, I'm not from Chengdu. That's why. Or no, is it Chongqing? Or no, it's Chengdu. I told my Chinese wife, ni hao, fine shit, thinking I had the pass. I do not, in fact, have the pass. That's crazy. You off Thanksgiving or popping off even more than you do normally for a holiday? I'll be here. Will says, come to Japan now. Yo, I'm going to be honest. Like, I wish I did. But we're live, we're alive, and I hope everyone's, like I said, having a fantastic one. Let me get a little bit of a zoom in here. It's a little too far. So, where was I? Oh yeah, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news. And ended the broadcast last night, and Lucas is here. My buddy Lucas, also known as Squizzy, is visiting from France, and I was very excited to see him. He's here for Formula One, but apparently he got he was doing a little Los Angeles leg of the trip as well. And I was hanging out with them, and let me tell you, okay. I asked this guy, "Oh, do you want to go to dinner at 7?" Right? And he knows I'm like kind of jet lagged and stuff. So he's like, "Yeah, for sure. Let's do it at 7, right?" And then I send him the screenshot of the reservation I got. So I go to the restaurant at like 7:06. I'm a little late, right? I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my way. I'm walking there," right? No response from him. And then I sit there for like 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, well, I thought I was going to be late, but it turns out he's late, And then I'm sitting there for 16 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, what's happening here? What the hell's going on? What the hell's happening here, right? And then I finally, at 7:30, I go, okay, dude, this is like a little bit rude at this point. What the hell is happening here? And I go, hey, are you coming? Like, what's happening? And he's like, yeah, of course. Of course, I'm coming at 8 p.m. It turns out I actually got a reservation for 8 p.m. I told him to show up at 8 p.m., but I thought in my mind that it was at 7 p.m. I was sitting there for 30 minutes. I told the restaurant I'm going to come back at 8. Left, came back at 8, had a wonderful time, had a wonderful dinner. Yeah, and that was my maybe jet lag is actually cooking me a little bit moment. Embarrassing. Okay? Embarrassing. And yeah, had a wonderful time. Went to bed. Woke up early. Woke up at like 4 a.m. Was up for like an hour. Went back to sleep. And honestly, China lifted their whole population. Wait, what is this? This got 158,000 views on Bilibili video, and the comments have incredible analysis. Hell yeah. We'll look at this in a second. But yeah, as I was saying, jet lag is cooking me a little bit. I didn't even get to work out this morning because I woke up too late to go and work out, and I had a call with WAPO about China. So that's what was going on. And I didn't have time to actually get a good workout in, but it's all good. Chinese embassy reposted you on Twitter. I saw. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about that. We got a lot to cover. GQ also is using me to sell their product, it seems. Subscribe for more pits, GQ magazine says. It's funny because that's the one time I didn't actually have a pit. I heard Bilibili likes gaming. Why are you lying to us again? What is this? If you actually believe there will be gaming later.
Said that the bigger Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie.
That's crazy. Using Benjamin Netanyahu to attack me is crazy. Everyone's posting the Kirk slop now. Yeah, Kirk slop is popping off, dude. Kirk slop is out of control. This is hilarious, bro. Not gonna lie. Oh yeah, no, I'll be talking about this. A little bit of tea for you guys. Have you ever considered switching it up and streaming first and then news later? What do you mean? Would you stream your gaming content on BDBD? Potentially. There's like a whitelisting and server issues that we need to address, obviously, because like the BDBD servers, they ping too much. And they ping around so much. So like to enter the Chinese internet, you have to go through a bunch of different things. And honestly, in order to accomplish that, it sometimes breaks my IRL process, like my IRL, like my true IRL server. It fries them. So there is definitely there's definitely some issues there. I have to do some tests and stuff. It's not as easy on the back end. And remember, I'm one of the few content creators out there who actually handles his own back end stuff. So that's the reason why it gets a little bit extra complicated. Oh my God, Trump considers removing Kash Patel from FBI director role. How, holy moly, that is breaking news. Oh boy. But yeah. Hassan, have you fixed your cystic acne yet? No, I haven't. As you can see, it's still on my cheek, but it's gotten smaller. I am officially closer to white Chinese than I ever have been. I'm going to be talking about that as well. We also have the Blowback boys coming in, Brandon and Noah both. Okay. They're both going to be in the building. Noah will be here earlier. He's already in the house. I just am doing my own thing for a little bit, and then I'll have him on to do some talking. There's also the Trigonometry podcast that I did, and we'll go through the Trigonometry podcast in general. Chinese embassy tweeted about me. I know. Can you tell? Wait, what is this? Did you change your lighting? It looks really good. Thank you. Welcome home. Now my normal routine can resume. Yeah, my normal routine can resume as well. You sound low energy today. I don't think so, but in any case, let's get it twisted. Let's get it popping. I'm just going to go right into it. I'm going to blast off, and we're going to do the dang thing, because honestly, there's a lot of news to cover and not a lot of time to cover said news to cover. But also, the reason why I want to get into it is because I will be gaming later. Okay. I will be gaming later. I want you to know gaming will happen later. Yes, there's a Chad Vice happening on Saturday. I can't reveal the guests yet, but we're going to have some big names. Okay. So get excited for that. Yeah. Yeah. Chad Vice coming back faster than you thought. Okay. Joe Biden. Yeah. Joe Biden, dude. Yeah. Is Kash Patel being forced out? Loomer claims I'm a Chinese agent. Gossie's for Trigonometry Pod. Brendan and Noah. Hold on. Brandon. No more jet for that bozo. Yeah, I think it's funny that that was like, if he gets pushed out, then and that is what did it. I find that to be very funny. Why can't I at people on this? This is annoying. Have you heard of the new Chinese game taking over where winds meet? Yeah, I heard about that. Brendan and Trump on Chad Vice. Trump on Chad Vice. No. On later. Dispatch later. Okay. New emote. What did you think? Oh, Truth Nuke? Yeah, I like it. Truke. If China and Japan go to war, whose side are you on? I'm anti-war. Yeah, I know Donald Trump got the Rush Hour 4 greenlit. You know, every now and then a broken clock rings true, you know? You are supposed to say Israel? Oh, my mistake. Yes, Zoran to ban protests outside of places of worship. Fucking bullshit. He's being a coward. A broken clock is correct twice a day is the actual way to say it. I know. Chatter. Instead of dispatch, consider Six Hearts Under Roof 2 for more Korean harem gameplay. Okay, you guys are too horny. Anyway, what do I have in terms of a blast off meme? Do we have anything? Do we got anything? Do we got anything good? Oh yeah, affordability is a major issue for the record. That is also another thing. Affordability is still very much a major issue. Okay. Majority Report raid. Oh my God, Pog. Shouts out to the Majority Report. Hope you had a good stream. Majority Report. Fantastic stuff. All right, let's blast it off. But like I said, we got Chad Vice on the weekend as well. Many exciting updates. They had Zoran earlier. Oh, nice. That was insincere. What do you mean? I love Majority Report. I'm sorry that it came across as low energy. The podcasts in China were so good. Would y'all consider having Lady Kwan on the pod more often? Also, the suits were clean. Yeah, the suits were pretty clean. Thank you. Yeah, and as far as Lady Kwan goes, yeah, sure. You know, we love Lady Kwan. He had the leftist audio again. What do you mean? Who did? Uncle Sam did? Unc? I'm Unc and I just learned that Unc means uncool. No, it's not. Unc doesn't mean uncool. I'm still catching up on your China vids. Okay. Anyway, we're blasting alpha. Zoran had a 180 FPS camera. Unc doesn't mean uncool. I mean, it implies uncool, but it just means uncle. All right, we're blasting off already, and then we're getting into that chatter said he's catching up with my China vids. Well, it turns out Bilibili is also catching up with my China VODs as well. And many commenters need to understand that the American concept of homelessness is different from ours. In China, we might not be able to turn a true homeless person into a millionaire, but we can ensure they have enough to eat, wear, and arrange employment, and even provide them with a homestead in their hometown. If you tell an American that such a person is homeless, they absolutely won't believe you. American homeless people genuinely don't own property, often struggle to find food, and their very survival is uncertain. They don't lack understanding. They just don't want to understand. This is about me, I think, talking about absolute poverty. You can't expect a tourist trip to China to see actual homelessness. Yeah, listen. Damn, I was slow in the mornings. Holy shit. Yeah, it's a good filter. I've spoken to many Americans. They mention things like China cities being rich while its rural areas are poor. I've asked them if they think rural Russia, Turkey, and Bulgaria are poor, and the answer generally yes. I tell them that what they perceive as poverty is not the result of artificial suppression, but rather an inevitable manifestation of a country's current stage of development, unrelated to whether farmers' rights are artificially restricted. Evaluating a country's policies without considering its actual economic development is meaningless. Well, that's true. That's exactly the point. That is the point that I always try to push on people, where it's like you have to look at where a country was to understand what it became. You can't just simply go, oh, well, what is the comparison between like France and China, for example? Well, you're not factoring in hundreds of years of colonial exploitation into the development of Western countries. You're literally comparing entirely different starting points, right? You're comparing entirely different starting points. Log into Billy bro. Holy fuck, please. No. Don't make promises you can't keep. Hassan, get dispatch out of your title. That's crazy. In any case, if you have any choice comments from this video that apparently did pretty well, 150. There's a lot of BD chat, BD videos that go crazy. BD videos of mine that go pretty crazy, honestly. And I'm here for it. It's just never my own videos. Ironically enough, is the Hasanabi industrial complex. Hasanabi industrial complex that ends up getting more viewers. Other side. A video documented a group of international tourists playing basketball on popular outdoor court in China. The video highlights the locals' immense passion for basketball. Open presents. Thank you for the 25 gifted. Who are the biggest creators on there? I don't know. Their physical fitness is really good, but their technique is too rough. Where winds meet? Yeah, I saw that this is another Chinese game that came out.
Blissful retreat.
Social media. And social media is such a vast space and so directly associated with these fundamental libertarian principles where all of these billionaires that want to change people's minds by controlling the algorithms still have a higher degree of priority on profit, that they will actually still let you say whatever the fuck you have to say, as long as you are generating revenue for them, as long as you have eyeball retention on those social media platforms. And it's too big of a behemoth to control, at least as it stands currently. Now with AI, that might change, right? If they start processing their own content, and if they just keep pumping their own content, they can actually change and people's consciousness, right? And they can actively make people feel some type of way. Not only is the idea that Dershowitz and Loesch represent normal people hilariously wrong, the idea that Hassan, Tucker, and Fuentes don't represent normal people is hilariously wrong. Those guys are popular because millions of Americans like them and like what they have to say. Hassan is not the same as the other two. 100% agree on ideology and substance, but my point is that they're all organically popular figures. I'll hate Fuentes and Tucker until the day I die, but I can't deny that a lot of people really like them. Yeah, it's true. As much as I wish that wasn't the case, a shit ton of people watch Tucker Carlson, even more people that watch Tucker Carlson than watch me, and a shit ton of people watch Nick Fuentes as well.
That are clearly identifiably on the center left and on the center right in conversation with each other. And we've been doing so much of this at the Free Press. I was in, where was I? Chicago. Last week, I think, I've lost all track of time, where Dana Lash, former spokeswoman from the NRA, was debating Alan Dershowitz on guns. Now, these are people that have wildly different opinions on the Second Amendment, and yet showing that they can have good faith, very passionate, very charismatic disagreement and still like each other at the end of the day. We think it's important. And so it's for me.
I'm going to be honest with you, at least in the age of stupids, if you really want to tap into the collective consciousness and where they're at, you need to have like OnlyFans models going up against like misogyny podcasters, like misogyny merchants, you know? That's like, I think that has a shit ton more relevance in the minds of the average person, the 75% that we're talking about, than fucking Dana Loesch and Alan Dershowitz, or even someone like myself versus Ben Shapiro. Okay? That's it. Like, that's where the average person is. I'm gonna be honest. The average person's mentality is like they want to see the whatever podcast guys get fucking destroyed by like a feminist commentary person. That's what they want to see. And on the other side, they want to see like some of the most insecure men screeching at a bunch of women. That's what they want to see. The average normie is not invested in a meaningful debate between two parties that are knowledgeable on the issue. I'm not even saying that Dana Loesch and Alan Dershowitz are knowledgeable on the issue of gun control or even remotely entertaining or interesting. I'm simply saying that even if you were to get like two figures that are knowledgeable and can be somewhat entertaining to debate an issue that they have, they're not, most people are not invested in that at all. Okay. They're invested in this. This is what they want to see. Holy fuck, this lesbian absolutely bodied tradcon Andrew Wilson for marrying a woman with 3 baby daddies. Damn, I didn't know that till now. What a fucking poser, Lamau. I don't think I've ever seen a man this triggered in my life. That's it. That's the you lick sniz line from this fucking loser not only lives in my mind permanently, but I think I'm not alone in feeling like this was an incredible moment of weakness. I mean, we all know this guy's a fucking loser, okay? If you have made a career as like a 50-year-old man, constantly yelling at like teenagers, 19-year-old OnlyFans girls to say that they're whores and sluts and whatnot, you are the most pathetic worm-like loser on the fucking planet, okay? And the moment that you encounter, I assume people are saying she's a lesbian. I guess that's the case. Someone who is a competent communicator, not to say that like 19-year-olds are not capable of being competent communicators, but oftentimes they're like a little worried about how they're presenting themselves in a format like this. But the moment that you have someone like this go back against you and just say, hey, she's bi. Okay. They use they, them pronouns. Okay. Well, regardless, they just absolutely, they just like push back a little bit, and this person just fucking falls apart. It's just a house of cards. Look at this.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm gonna reframe, and I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know, but the reason is not because I'm not a great.
This guy used to go by Big Papa Fascist online. This is one of those things where it's like you don't see them as kids because you also goon and went to a brothel. Yeah, because they're kids, you don't see them as kids because you also goon and went to a brothel. That's a fucking insane. That's an insane statement. Okay, I'm a 34-year-old man. Okay, I do not goon to fucking teenagers. You pathetic fucking loser. The reason why you feel that way is because you have a outdated perspective on sex work and refuse to see the nuance in my conversation. And instead of entertaining the nuance and maybe even thinking about it a little bit further, because I'm not someone that actually turns around and says that this is an institution or an industry that has no fucking downsides whatsoever, but you have to immediately project as a 20-month fucking subscriber. Okay? What a time to just be tuning in to the stream. I know, this is like the weirdos. Okay, I'm a girl. Okay, well, you're a fucking weirdo. You can be a girl and also be a fucking weirdo. Project how? Oh my God. Oh, you're a girl. My bad, dude. My mistake. Oh shit. Believe all women, you fuck. Yeah, exactly. How are your longtime subs like this? It's normal. This is the one issue that many progressive people have take issue with. Like they just don't understand that you can have a different perspective on this matter and not instantly assume that someone who is pro sex work in any capacity, it's a filter. Remember when I talked about filters, like unnuanced thinking being a filter? This is one of those things where people have like very hardline positions on issues like this, and they can't like think about it normal. They just immediately, they insta-lock in their minds. They go, oh, dude, this is like every version of what you are describing, I am going to say is rape, not realizing that that actually undermines this like severe crime. And unironically, being pro-sex work, not to the same degree as like whatever you associate me with, okay? But like being pro-sex work is first and foremost in defense of sex workers, okay? It is all of the anti-sex work mentality that actually makes this this entire space less safe for the people that engage in this, okay? That's it. Drug policy is also pretty bad in progressive circles. I know. I haven't broached the subject matter. I thought the standard progressive position was pro-sex work. No. No, certainly not. Especially not in this day and age. I feel like we just like there's a pendulum when it comes to social issues, right? There's a pendulum when it comes to social issues, and I think it's swung far too much on the progressive side as well, where people were talking about like doing kinks in public or whatever. And I think the next generation developed a shit ton of stigma because of that reason. So then it swung back into the puritanical side. And the irony, of course, of the puritanical position is that I think Americans are way, like, and Westerners in general are way more open-minded towards the puritanical approach. Yeah. The porn brain swing, exactly. And I think a lot of people don't realize that this actually erodes critical thinking in this kind of situation. And the more they're predisposed to the puritanical attitude on this or take a reactionary approach on this issue, the more they are open-minded to other reactionary positions as well, which is why like that pipeline will oftentimes extend from sex work to, in many instances, like people talking about how porn destroyed their brain and made them gay, or porn destroyed their brain and hypnotized them into being trans, or, or they take on more and more inherently reactionary or inherently misogynistic positions across the board. This isn't to say that like the industry is devoid of any sort of problems. Of course, there is like a shit ton of issues. There are a shit ton of issues in sex work, just like there's a shit ton of issues in every industry. And of course, the component of sex makes it even more severe. But people just automatically will turn around and be like, yeah, you fucking want people to be sex trafficked, and that's what you're signing on. That's what you're signing off on, all this stuff. Ironically enough, that conversation being unnuanced is quite literally a big aspect of how, quite literally a major aspect as to how this industry gets less safe. It's not surprising that regressive culture affected some young people. Yes.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth.
You lick sniz. What an own. Kaya, place. Just throw that over there. Yeah, that must have struck a nerve. Because he thinks he alted, but it's pretty funny that his alt is that. Like, that's a devastatingly bad alt, in my opinion. I was saying, like, I'm using this as an example of, like, the type of debate that I think Americans actually do want to watch.
Oh, no, I caught a bit of it before coming in.
Yeah, do want to watch and do want to hear, as opposed to fucking Dana Loesch versus Alan Dershowitz, which is a low bar to begin with. Here, I'm going to run this back again. You want to hear the incredible counter that this fucking loser has here. Let's take a look.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you lick sniz.
You lick sniz.
Look at his face, bro. Look at his fucking face. Like he thinks he really hit that. He thinks he really fucking hit that hard. You like sniz. What a fucking loser this guy is. Jesus Christ.
Or religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say? Dyke?
Your wife with the 3 baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you
This
try
is
to
Neo
Do the
Jerry
women that
Springer.
you try
show
to?
your hatred against
Do you the
women,
women that
like
you try
convince them
to?
that they
With even
shouldn't,
less
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did I
your
bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into?
This is one of those things where it's like, he is such a aggro, like, trad guy that it's like an own. But in most circumstances, like, who gives a shit? How
Is
many
that why he
people-
dresses like a magician?
Yeah, of course. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay.
The more you dress like a magician, the more you dress like a libertarian magician, the cooler you are in this crowd, in this space.
I mean, he looks like the
You
the
like
fr-
snazz.
It's like the friend whose parents like never ever made him dress up for anything. Like goes to like your bar mitzvah and like that's like formal.
Yeah, I'm Ezra Klein, and I think the Whatever podcast is doing politics the right way. You like snazz.
You like snazz.
Oh, wow. It's awesome. This chatter keeps saying, y'all are, what is this? Y'all are literally porn brained. Lemme out. And then their big counter was, y'all are literally porn brained. Lemme out. This chat, by the way, lemme out. And then their fucking incredible counter is a Twitter meme. Left wing destroyed, honestly. Yeah. Thank you, chatter. You did it. You fucking destroyed.
Who is the magician? Is he like a comedian or something?
I don't know what the fuck. I think his previous username was Big Papa Fascist or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, Big Papa Fascist.
I did see that this has like a gazillion views. So I'm,
Yeah,
you know,
and,
like
and even the moderator, who's also another one of these fucking losers, is, you know, even he liked that because he loves the controversy. I
I
guess.
did like the cut to the react to him, like oh, like
Yeah. But yeah, Charlie is a streamer as well. Enemy Charlie is their name.
I'm sorry to put back.
What is this? Oh,
I'm
to
not-
clarify, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm not a lesbian. I'm bisexual. I am also detransitioned 10-ish years ago. IDing as either female to male or as a trans mass lesbian. I just mentioned having an ex-girlfriend during my debate with Wilson, and I guess he latched onto that. Posting this because I don't want to steal lesbian thunder, Lamau, though to be fair, I feel like labels are dumb, and I've historically been so all over the place. It's nothing to me at this point. By the way, how is this unexpected for him? How does he not have a better comeback than that? Because he has a baby brain, and he's not exactly he's not exactly the most intelligent guy. Obviously, you can't be an intelligent person. He's a debate coach. Oh my fucking god!
What? Of like kids?
I don't fucking know. I saw another. They're not a fan of yours, allegedly, for your information, but I think they probably just haven't actually heard any of your real opinions, Lamau. I mean, I don't know. But my point is, these fucking dipshits, like, in order to be a debate coach, they're like, I mean, all of this is a grift, okay? All of this is a fucking grift. The entire thing is just about yelling at women and getting a bunch of insecure young men, and perhaps even sadder than insecure young men, insecure older men who have the mentality of insecure young men to feel more secure about their position in society by trying to shit on women. It is all vulnerability. Okay? It all stems from vulnerability and a lack of confidence. There is a major crisis in confidence in young men and older men as well. And I think that is where a lot of these problems arise. Okay, most of these dudes have audiences of young men and older men that have that same insecurities that they've never actually worked on from their teenage years, and it causes them to be super vulnerable and seek out people that will tell them like, no, you're not the problem. The problem is like women are bitches. And it's ironic because like the real reason why a lot of young men, and I would say virtually all young men at some point experience this, especially if they don't have like positive role models, will find themselves looking for answers, right? They find themselves looking for answers about like how to talk to women, for example, how to present yourself, how to carry yourself. And it's very alluring to see guys, maybe not like him, but at least like Andrew Tate or all these other people that are like constantly around women, right? Like, and they start to think like, oh, well, this guy gets it. He figured something out. He's constantly surrounded by sexy babes and fast cars and whatever the fuck, right? They don't realize that this is just like a crafted persona of a bunch of people that have carefully manufactured this identity online and are actively trying to make up for their own personal shortcomings that they recognize. And it gets far worse than this. I think the bottom of the well is like that clavicular kid and the black pill side. His TikTok has basically normalized a shit ton of things that used to be relegated to the darkest corners of the internet, like the black pill subreddits and whatnot, the looks maxing community that I think is unimaginably damaging, right? But you know, the starting point for many younger men in general is just trying to understand, trying to navigate the treacherous waters of interpersonal communication and developing relationships with women. And then they slowly but surely get preyed upon by people like this, who then tell them that the best, most successful thing to do, the best possible thing to do if you want to approach women is to just like shit on them non-fucking stop. Okay, that's the way to do it. Just shit on them all the time, and call them bitches, and then they will want to be with you. Great, very successful.
Like,
you try
convince them
to
that they shouldn't.
You know,
like,
Charlie,
pursue
did I bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called
into
me fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because
Yeah, everyone got that. Everyone got that from this interaction, from this brief interaction.
you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people
Okay.
on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing with.
Look at his notepad. Hold on. Go back to that. He definitely has some, as somebody who does this in like lectures or whatever, he has some like crazy doodles going.
I can't see from over
Well,
here.
no, you got to play it because it's like
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck,
I definitely
let's
felt
go
that-
through
yeah,
it.
You are
yeah,
not-
Yeah.
What
Like,
is that?
Yeah, what is that?
What are these
is he? Is he
doodles?
just like?
What are you doodling over there?
Yeah, thank you. I knew I wasn't imagining things. What is he doing?
Yeah.
If you have gray hair and you're doing that, what's up?
Ay, ay, ay. Pikachu. Yeah, he doodled Pikachu. He was doodling Sniz, drawing a pair of tits.
Yeah, he's doing the Big Lebowski. Drawing.
I love tits. Name a trout, fried him. Yeah, at this point, he just gets like destroyed by anyone that is unafraid to speak on a podium like this. If they're like remotely confident.
Well, any situation where he's like not able to like, you know,
Control
like,
the conversation.
Yeah, or like saw somebody in half, or I don't know, like pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Parker get a job. Counter argument last time. What is this? Oh yeah, this was the other one that I saw as well. This was another viral moment, right? Like his inability to open a fucking jar. God, this stuff is so pathetic too. Like it just doesn't. You know what's funny? This shit doesn't mean anything, but it means everything to these fucking morons. Okay? That's what it is. Andrew Wilson not being able to open a jar after being a misogynistic pig and trying to make fun of Nema for not being able to open it is actually the funniest shit. Like, if he was just like a competent person or a confident person, then his inability to open that jar would not be as severe, right? Because he's the one who's placed a lot of value and a lot of emphasis on, one, not marrying a woman that has 3 different baby mamas, right? Like, that's the reason why it actually hits hard. That's the reason why it fucking hits hard. Normal people don't give a shit about that, right? And the same goes for not being able to open a pickle jar. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm a pretty brolic dude. Is sometimes you can't open a jar. It is what it is, you know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. But he thinks it's the biggest fucking deal.
Uh-oh. Come on, you can do it.
Put it
Oh,
right
man.
side up.
Oh.
You
so
can
it
do
doesn't
it. You
spill
got
on you.
this.
All right, bro, I can't do it. Here.
This is so
I do this seems a
unpleasant.
little immature. No.
Oh wow.
For
Hey, the guy
$1,000.
sent $1,000.
Yeah, but it seems slightly immature.
It's all fucking
It's
This is
just
only
it's
wear
a little
black
See,
shirts.
it is.
I gotta grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Well, your hand greased the whole
Oh
top of
my
it.
god.
Your hand greased it. Your hand greased it. You fucking loser. God damn it, dude. I can't believe that there is like any audience for this shit. It blows my mind. I'm glad that there's like more people now dunking on these fucking clowns. But for the longest time, they had this like tight-knit environment where they could basically control all of the discourse. So they would just like have women that they could belittle and yell over. Not to disparage the women that would go on this podcast in general.
No, I mean, I remember
like-
this. I definitely remember this as like a genre before. Like it felt like where it's like edits of like, you know, like some Sneeko style guy screaming at a woman like, "You do sex? Where you gonna talk to me about this when you are like you're a whore or whatever?" Like it's, yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah. Same guy who chirped at that girl when they went on there and apologized to you for going on. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's that one clip because they know I've often talked about how women shouldn't go on these podcasts. And I think there was a Hasanabi head that went on it and on the podcast, like apologized to me for going on it. And then he lost his fucking mind. But yeah,
Fine,
here, let's
here,
watch
high
this
five.
and
It
then we'll see the
literally-
rest of it.
It's like, feel it. Isn't that greasy?
It was like that already. Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
No,
you're
it
ridiculous.
wasn't. You greased the top.
Use
Oh
your
my
shirt.
I think
Jesus,
that's what
Andrew,
what he
if
was
you can't
drawing.
open the olive jar, you cannot
Here,
blame my
while we're doing
hand.
the olive
That
jar.
guy
If you're so
laptop
strong,
is
you
the
should
S
open
sticker.
it.
Yeah, I got to be able to grip it.
Okay, we'll grip it. Let's
It's
go.
literally slippery.
Does anyone have that other clip of him
Grab me a
freaking
Loser,
out,
dude. You stupid.
freaking
loser.
out at the girl?
Hate this.
Oh,
Man.
so I can dry the top of it off.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, I need to dry it.
It's just like you also know the worst part is the top did become greasy because he made it greasy.
Yeah, I know.
He looks greasy.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, it's this attitude where it's like, oh, you're the greasy one. You're the girl. You're a greasy girl.
Stupid girl.
Yeah. He's not used to handling things that are wet. That's funny.
funny.
Yeah. Someone else opened it for him seconds later too. Oh, that's awesome. You can see him try to wipe his hands before he tries. He knows he's greasy. Do you have does anyone have that other I like that why you're not mad at cops 2 clip? Does anyone have that other the other clip where is this it? Okay, you guys are just sending me fucking people trying to open jars. That's not what I'm looking for. God damn. All right, whatever. We're moving on from this shit. Y'all are fucking washed. Okay, this community is washed. We can't even find clips anymore. The hive mind is no longer hiving as it used to. But
Well, I do think it is like really astonishing how they thought like too like, oh, let's make the set for this thing look boring too.
yeah. Don't be mad at chat being funnier than you. Okay, stop.
Well, did you see the latest news on this that broke within like the last hour?
Yeah, there is.
They leaked the transcript.
Oh, they did?
Oh no. So Witkoff. So, I mean, it's on Bloomberg. But Witkoff supposedly. I mean, like I don't know what the transcript says. I haven't read it, but the way that Bloomberg is presenting the story, is that well, here it is for you.
Extremely rare leak of a phone call transcript. I mean, here we'll start on this first. Ukraine agrees to a peace deal. Only minor details left, right?
This,
and in the morning,
this leak suggests that that's not the case.
yeah. So this morning, when it first came out, was the news was that Zelensky was going to come to the United States of America or like have a conversation with Donald Trump during Thanksgiving, where they were going to basically sign off on this quote unquote peace deal. He cheated on us with Bilibili. Yeah, because you need to be better. Okay, the Bilibili audience is better. All right. But it turns out that there was no imminent Trump-Zelensky meeting. Driscoll to meet the Ukrainians and Witkoff to meet Putin. Trump will meet Putin and Zelensky only when the deal is final or in the final stages. Okay, and here were the details. Over the past week, my team has made tremendous progress with respect to the end of the war between Russia and Ukraine, a war that would have never started if I were president. Last month, 25,000 soldiers died. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides, and there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed my special envoy, Steve Wickoff. I can't believe Chad is still fucking losing their minds over a joke that I made about Bilibili. Okay, lock in, okay? Fucking lock in, chatters. We're talking about the news now, okay? Jesus Christ. You were proving the fucking point that I was making. Oh, you found the... You found the clip.
What is this filter?
I don't, dude. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's too late now. But thank you for finding it, chatter. So anyway, a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed my special envoy Steve Witkoff to meet with the President Putin in Moscow, and at the same time, Secretary of Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all progress made, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. I look forward to hopefully meeting with President Zelensky and President Putin soon, but only when the deal to end this war is final or in its final stages. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, and let's all hope that peace can be accomplished as soon as possible. It immediately destroyed that previous reporting that speculated that this deal was ready to be finalized, and Bloomberg had the exclusive transcript. Putin advisors discussed plans for dealing with Trump. Transcript. Okay. Senior foreign policy advisor, Russian President Yuri Yushakov. From left, economic advisors, the Russian President Kirill Dmitriev and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff arrived for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin at the Kremlin in Moscow in an image supplied by Russian state media. This was back in April 25th, but the call is from October 29th. A phone call between Yuri Yushakov, Vladimir Putin's most senior foreign policy advisor, and Kirill Dmitriev, an economic advisor for the Russian president. The transcript was prepared after Bloomberg reviewed a recording of the call. The original Russian is included below for translation for reference. Okay? Ushakov, hello. Wait, why did they put hello? You could say hello. This is a transcript that has been, like, I guess they wanted to make it more Russian. Hello.
I'll be
Сука, блядь. Как дела? Как тебя зовут? Hello.
Oh my God.
Yuri Viktorovich.
I'll be, yes, okay. Kirill Alexandrovich. Well, I've sent everything there. We'll talk tomorrow.
Well, great. Da. I flew to Saudi Arabia, but it seems to me it's very important because it's a really good way forward.
Well, we need the maximum, don't you think?
Oh, come on. You don't.
Well, we need the maximum, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I feel bad doing that.
No.
What do you think? Otherwise, what is the point of passing anything on?
Niet, look. I think we'll just make this paper from our position, and I'll informally pass it along, making it clear that it is all informal, and I'll let them do it like their own. But I don't think they'll take exactly our version, but at least it'll be as close to it as possible.
Well, that's exactly the point. They might not take and say that it was agreed with us. That's what I am afraid of.
Niet, suka блядь. I'll say it exactly as you say it, word for word.
They might twist it later, that's all. There is that risk. Well, all right, never mind. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems to me you can talk later with Steve about this paper. We will do everything neatly. Thank you so much, Yuri Viktorovich. Thank you so much. Thank you. Goodbye.
They're so much
That's
nicer.
it.
They have that's like so nice.
Okay, so this is the big takeaway from this is what?
Well, the idea, I think this is like supposed to be piece of evidence, but the whole idea is that the Russians like essentially claim, or it's what's being claimed is this, that
Yeah,
Witkoff
Witkoff advised Russia on how to pitch Ukraine plan to
like
Trump.
tell this or whatever. I'll be honest, I don't know. Like, I don't have an immediate opinion on like, oh well, this is overstepping the bounds of diplomacy. Although I imagine Bloomberg wouldn't be packaging it if they didn't think that like this, if they didn't think that the news would like change what's going on.
So one of the judges said, "This is why CBS will never win." Yes, CBS.
Oh, so
can
we
never.
said the second call because the first
Yeah.
call is one with Witkoff on it directly. So we
Yeah.
did Boris and Natasha.
Also
with,
notable that Bloomberg reviewed a second call involving Putin aide Yushakov. This time, instead speaking to Witkoff, Yushakov talks to Putin advisor Kirill Dmitriev. Interestingly, they are also concerned about the peace plan being viewed as the Russian position.
So this is where it's Witkoff saying directly, "Oh, I like this."
Hold on, I'll
Okay.
open the image in a new tab.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Okay, you can be Steve Witkoff because you're
All
too
right.
concerned about doing the voice.
Well, it's I'm not an ethnic.
All right,
That's all I'll say.
Yuri.
Yuri, here's what I would do. My recommendation.
Please.
I would make the call and just reiterate that you congratulate the president on this achievement, that you supported it, that you respect that he is a man of peace, and you're really glad to have seen it happen. So I would say that. I think from that it's going to be a really good call.
Keep going.
Because let me tell you what I told the president. I told the president that the Russian Federation has always wanted a peace deal. That's my belief. I told the president I believe that. And I believe the issue is that we have two nations that are having a hard time coming to a compromise. And when we do, we're going to have a peace deal. I'm even thinking that maybe we set out like a 20-point peace proposal, just like we did in Gaza. We put a 20-point Trump plan together that was 20 points for peace. And I'm thinking maybe we do the same thing with you. My point is this.
Okay, my friend. I think that very point our leaders could discuss. Hey, Steve, I agree with you that he will congratulate. He will say that Mr. Trump is a real peace man and so. That he will say.
But here's what I think would be amazing.
Okay.
What if, hear me out.
I will discuss that with my boss, and then I come back to you, okay?
Yeah, but because listen to what I'm saying. I want you to say, maybe just to say this to President Putin, because I have the deepest respect for President Putin.
Da.
Maybe he says to President Trump, Steve and Yuri discussed a very similar 20-point plan to peace, and that could be something that we think might move the needle a little bit. We're open to those sorts of things, to explore what it's going to take to get a peace deal done. Now,
okay, you're getting progressively more Jewish accented with the Steve Witkoff.
Well, one of these things I'm more comfortable with. Can you guess why?
Okay, keep going.
Now, it's also like, can we make a deal? Now, me to you, I know what it's going to take to get a peace deal done. Donetsk and maybe a land swap somewhere. But I'm saying, instead of talking like that, let's talk more hopefully, because I think we're going to get to a deal here. And I think, Yuri, the president will give me a lot of space and discretion to get to the deal.
I see.
So if we can create that opportunity after this, I talked to Yuri and we had a conversation. I think that could lead to big stuff.
Okay, that sounds good.
And here's one more thing. Zelensky is coming to the White House on Friday.
I know that.
I will go to that meeting because they want me there. But I think if possible, we have the call with your boss before that Friday meeting.
Yeah, before, yeah?
Correct.
Okay, I got your advice. So I discuss that with my boss and then I come back to you, okay?
Okay, Yuri, I'll speak to you soon.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks you.
Bye-bye.
That's good. This is fucked up that they will transcribe it as like bad English on purpose.
It is like, God.
Thanks you. Yes. But okay. I mean, this makes a lot of sense that Steve Witkoff is doing more work to convince Donald Trump than Steve Witkoff is finding himself doing more work to convince Donald Trump than to convince Vladimir Putin. Well, also partially because this quote unquote peace deal is a gift basket for all of Russia's maximalist demands, really. So it does make sense that he has to basically sell this to Donald Trump more than he has to sell this to Putin. Genius move for Witkoff to float this proposal to Putin's top foreign policy advisor on an open line. What could go wrong?
I mean, I think to me, there's a few interesting questions here. The first of which is that like this leaking will be a good test of how much is Witkoff like directly doing what Trump wants specifically, or is the fact that this leaks and Trump sees that this is how Witkoff represents Trump in private, will Trump be upset with that? And it's like hard for me, you know, I'm not, you know, the fact that it got out, like the security piece of it, like we'll see how the facts come out on that. But as far as like the politics of it and how Trump responds, I guess to me the immediate question I have is like,
he might like
Trump,
it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I think. Like
he likes being like a fake dictator,
and also he knows. Listen, this guy. What is the most common word in that transcript? If aside from the and you and thank and really and good, the most common word in that transcript has to be deal. It has to be deal. And so my bet, my suspicion is that this is actually Witkoff doing what Trump wants, and that the intendant and that the person making this leak probably knows that, and that what they're intending just to show, obviously, is to like, you know, add more credence to the idea that like, oh, Trump is doing like Putin's bidding, or Trump is like selling out Ukraine and so forth. You know, and if I'm a Ukrainian reading this, I might come to that conclusion too.
Yeah, I mean, there is on the one hand, I think it's on the one hand there is this scary conclusion that I think a lot of the American foreign policy side of things need to come to, which is that like America doesn't have the same motion that it once did. Like the period of like complete dominance from the dissolution of the USSR,
the century of American motion.
Yeah, it's over. Like we are back in multipolarity, and I would say that it's getting to a degree where it's like even worse than when it was, or not worse, but like it's even more evenly matched than it was during the Cold War. Perhaps even more advantageous for China, given its like connection to the rest of the world in terms of like being a manufacturing hub. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but that's my assessment.
Well, I agree with you. The idea that like, because to me it's always sort of. Like in this moment, it's like obviously the U.S. has more military capacity than any other country by a long shot to do crazy damage, and you know we control shipping corridors through our navy. You know, and China's navy isn't even like it's expanding and developing at a rate far faster than our own.
And it's like our logistics is the most impressive part of it. Like where our capacity to be everywhere around the world in like 48 hours is probably the most.
And like the dollar is like multipolarity is happening, but like the dollar is still also the world reserve currency.
Yeah,
like it's
China has no seemingly by their own admission has no interest or no ambition, at least for now, to assert any sort of dominance or to tackle the dollar hegemony.
Brendan's here.